paid by an employer $20 an hour, the following statement must be true. During that hour, your labor produces more for the employer that he sells at the end of the day than $20 worth. Because that's why he's in the business. If paying you 20, you went to work and you did an output that gave another 20 for him to sell, then he's got nothing out of this. He's made 20 by selling what your labor helped to produce, but he's got to give it to you. And even though he likes you, he's not going to do that. There has to be in it, here we go, something for him. You have to produce, this is ineluctable, you have to produce more in every hour than you get paid. Otherwise, this system doesn't work. For those of you, and I have to tell you this because partly you need to hear it and partly I admit I get a kick out of telling you. Those of you who think that in a capitalist system, you're never going to work for anybody who doesn't pay you what you're worth, you don't understand the system you're in. That is never going to happen because that's how this system works. When you go home at the end of a workday and you feel vaguely ripped off, it's because you are. And the psychologist or others who helps you get over that feeling isn't doing you any favor.
Shalom. Shalom. Before I start, I want to give all honors and glories and praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Waha, Waka, Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who will well and teach well, because those are the men who I've learned this truth from through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh, which is the one true name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, but his one true name is Yahweh Shai. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect. And shalom to you, sincere brothers scattered abroad, pushing forth this word in truth and sincerity. I am the brother Mashiach Arazakah from the servants of Yahweh Yahweh Shai camp, Las Vegas, Nevada branch. And pretty much I showed that video because that man, I don't know if he's an Edomite or a heathen or not, but he was giving you truth. He was telling you how these heathen nations take an advantage of us as a people. You know, this is how they get rich off of their businesses. You know, starting from Esau. He's mainly talking about Esau though, and how he pretty much gets a benefit off of us. And they've been doing that for years, where they'll offer you a certain amount of money for a job. You know, you think you get $20 an hour. That's like, dang, that's a lot of money. Yeah. But he's giving it to you because he's receiving a higher benefit. For you that don't know, for example, like security guards, when you get hired to a security company for one guard, they make $1,500 off of one guard. In California, I don't know how they do it in Nevada, but in California, if they get one guard hired, that's $1,500 that the company gets for one guard. So just imagine. So when you get offered $20 an hour, things like that, that's for an unarmed guard. I'm talking about for an unarmed guard. They get $1,500 off of that one guard. So they get more than what you're getting paid for. They get more than what you get paid for. So pretty much a lot of people, especially in these warehouses that work in warehouse jobs, security, any type of job like that, they make a lot of money off of you. And this lets you know that we're still in slavery. That man was telling you in that video how much of a benefit they get off of you. You getting offered $20 an hour. To you, that's good, but they making more off of you though. They getting more. That's why they offer you $20 an hour, because they getting more of a benefit, more money of a benefit off of you. So you could be getting paid $20 an hour, but he's getting paid more. He's not going to just give you $20 an hour just because to give you $20 an hour. And that's what he was saying. If it's not benefiting these Edomites or these people here with these other nations with these benefit, he's not going to give you that. He's going to give it to you when he makes a benefit off of you. He's going to give you that. So I got a precept on this because that's why the scriptures tells us here. And I was going to go, read from here. But there's a precept here that I wanted to share through the Spirit. This is Sirach 12, right? And we're going to get that out. This is Sirach 12 and 10. Right? The scriptures tells us right here. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so does his wickedness. And this is why the scriptures say never to trust our enemies. These 17 heathen nations are our enemies here. Number 2 all the way down. They are our enemies. And we are not to trust them. Now, we have to work to make a living. Absolutely. I'm not telling people not to work for them. We have to work for them because we gotta make a living. Some of us got families. Some of us got a family. We got wives. We got kids. Or some of us may be single, but we gotta live by the day to be able to survive, to make it. But the main thing is, this is why we don't trust our enemies. We work for them, but we are not to put our trust in these heathens, man. And just like what that individual was saying in his video, listen to this. Sirach 12 and 16. It says, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips. That's these Edomites. They do that. They'll offer you this. They'll give you this. They'll play your buddy. They'll do all that if they're making a profit off of you. But the moment that you're no longer being a valuable asset for them, they're going to get rid of you. Sirach 12 and 16, it says, an enemy speaks sweetly with his lips, but in his heart, meaning his mind, he imagineth how to throw thee down into a pit. And that's these Edomites. These Edomites, they do that all the time. This is mainly going into that, the prophecies of him doing that too, where he's gonna deceive people. But that's what Esau do to us on a daily basis. He do these things here. It says, but in his heart, in his mind, he imagined how to throw thee into a pit. How to gain a benefit off of you. It says he will weep with his eyes. He will cry with you. He'll be your buddy, right? But if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. You see that? So this is why, again, we don't trust our enemies here. Yeah, we work for them, right? But we don't trust our enemies. And, I'm going to read some scriptures here. And this is how, he's telling you to your face. This is how we know we're still in captivity. Because these heathen nations, they get a huge benefit off of us. Right? It says 2 Kings 17 and 20. It says, and the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel. Why? Because we broke the old covenant. Right? It says, and afflicted them and delivered them into the hand of the spoilers. And who are the spoilers? These 17 heathen nations. Number 2 all the way down to verse 8, number 18 are heathen nations. Those are the spoilers. They're the ones that's ruling over us today. Mainly number 2. Number 2 is the main one that's ruling over us today. Whether you like it to hear it or not, it is the truth. 2 Kings 17:20. And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel and afflicted them. How did he afflict us? By giving us to the spoiler. It says, and delivered them into the hand of spoilers until he had cast them out of his sight. So due to us being disobedient and rebellious as a people, he gave us to the heathen. That's how we were afflicted. The Lord given us to the heathen for being disobedient. Deuteronomy 28:13. And the Lord shall make thee the head. See, these were the blessings. If we would have taken heed and kept the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments, we wouldn't be going through this today. Deuteronomy 23:13. It says, and the Lord shall make thee the head. We supposed to be the head. We supposed to be ruling right now. It says, and not the tail. See? And thou shalt be above only. We were supposed to be above only. We weren't supposed to be working for these fucking heathens. These heathens are supposed to be working for us. Because we were a mighty nation. We still are a mighty nation, but we're oppressed on a high level due to being disobedient. It says, and thou shalt not be beneath. So we originally was not supposed to be beneath these heathens. It says, if that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord your power, which I command thee this day, to observe to do them. So if we would have kept the law, statutes, and commandments and stayed obedient to the Lord, we wouldn't have been at the bottom today. We wouldn't have to be getting paid $20 an hour or below. Out here in Vegas, you got some people, they still getting paid $11 an hour. $11 an hour, that can only afford you a meal. $11 an hour can't afford your rent. It can't afford your car notes. But this is how we know that we are Israelites today. This is how we know that we are Israelites. This is how we know that we're in captivity. Deuteronomy 28:44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Who's the head? Who's ruling us right now? These 17 heathen nations are ruling over the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. We are in captivity. These people here that you see in this picture here, these nations here, which is of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, Judah all the way down to Issachar, are in captivity to these 17 heathen nations here. We are oppressed on a high level. We're at the bottom today. These nations, number 2 all the way down to 18, is literally ruling over us. Judah all the way down. Okay? And they're paying us money, which we think is a lot, but they're making way more profit off of us. Now, of course, people are going to say, well, what can we do about it? We can't do nothing about it. But this is why, again, we're proving to you, this is how we know that we are Israelites. This is how we know these prophecies only fit us. Just look at this. Deuteronomy 28:44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. It says, he shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Who you work for on a daily basis? The so-called white man. If you're not working for him, you working for a nation of a different nation of number 2 all the way down to 18. You are working for one of these people here. These people here have businesses. You work for them. They make a profit off of you. This is how we know that we are Israelites. This is how we know that we're Israelites. Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, right, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I commanded thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. These are curses that's upon us. That's why we're at the bottom right now. We're under a temporal punishment for being disobedient. Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shall thou serve thy enemies. Who are our enemies? Number 2 all the way down to 18 are our enemies. They are our enemies. These 17 heathen nations are literally ruling over us. Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, right? Which the Lord shall send against thee, which he did, because we were disobedient. It says in hunger. Who do you get your food from? The heathen nations, right? And in thirst, who do you get your waters from? Or just saying, your water. Who do you get your quenching your thirst of your beverages from? The heathen nations. And in nakedness, who do you get your clothes from? The heathen nations, right? The heathen nations. You have these what do you call it? You have these discount malls. You have these malls, right? And at those swap meets, who owns those swap meets? You got a lot of them. You got a lot of Moabites in there that sell all these clothes and stuff at these swap meets. If you ever been to a swap meet, you see nothing but them Moabites. You got all them Moabites selling all of those clothes to you at the swap meet. And you should know who I'm talking about when I say Moabites. It says that nakedness, and even if you go to Walmart, you go into the Edomites. It says in nakedness and in want of all things, whatever you buy, whatever you're purchasing, is going to a heathen nation. Especially you Israelite women. You going to buy wigs, you're going to the heathen for that. If you buying your son a game system, you got to go to the heathen for that. You buying yourself some clothes, some Jordans. There's a heathen nation that owns that store that you're going to. If you go on to Foot Locker, Edomites own that. If you go into goddamn Sheiks, I'm sure a heathen owns that. Wherever you go to purchase your clothes or items or whatever, is going back to a heathen. Just giving you an example. It says that he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Okay? He shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Now, we don't have a physical yoke of iron around our necks right now. But we did not too long ago. We had a physical iron around our neck. But we're still in captivity. We're still in captivity. Now, we don't have actual irons around our necks like back then. But we still are in captivity. We're still slaves. The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, you are still a slave to these heathens. We are still slaves to these heathens. It says, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Just to get hired from a job, you got to go to a goddamn interview to see if you're qualified to work for their business. So you still got to go to the heathen to get a job, right? Put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. And these heathens, they have destroyed us, right? Let me get a precept. Let's go to, I think it's Psalms 83, right? We get that real quick. Let's go to Psalms 83. Psalms 83 tells us these heathens did that to us, right? Salakia. Psalms 83. My phone be glitching sometimes. Here it is. Let me get to the main point. Psalms 83. Yep, here it is. I'll start at verse 1. Psalms 83 and 1. It says, "Keep not thou silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power." Verse 2. "For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head." Verse 3. "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people," the Israelites, right? "And consulted against thy hidden ones." Verse 4. "They have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more a remembrance." You see that? I just wanted to add that to there. So these heathen nations, they've done that. The Lord did that to us, though, because we were disobedient. So these nations, they've done that. We're scattered amongst these 17 heathen nations. All right. So the Lord set that up for us to be cut off as a nation. And that's why Deuteronomy 28:48, "Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee." That is a curse that is put upon us as a people. Daniel 7:25, "And he shall speak great words against the Most High." Who speak great words against the Most High? Who's against the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, his only begotten Son? Who's against the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and his Son, Yahushai? These Edomites, the heathen nations. It says, "And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High." The Israelites, we're worn out. You got individuals working 12-hour shifts at a warehouse and only getting paid $300. You being gypped. You supposed to be getting paid OT for them fucking hours. You working at a warehouse, you working 12 hours, you supposed to be getting paid way more than that. But they only paying you, what, $300 for working 12 hours. That's a damn ripoff, man. Wearing out the saints, man. It says, "And think to change times and laws." That's Esau. He did that. He created his own times and laws, right? "And they shall be given into his hand until a time of times and the dividing of times." And that's these Edomites, these heathen nations, man. They wore out the saints. But that's a curse that's put upon us because we disobeyed the Heavenly Father. But I just wanted to show you in this lesson that we are in captivity. And I'm going to read this right here. Deuteronomy 28:45. It says, "Moreover, all of these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed." You see that? It says, "Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee." So this is why we're going through what we're going through today, because we were disobedient to the Lord. We were disobedient to the Lord. And those of you that say, "Well, the Lord, he don't care for us. He put us in this situation. That means he don't care for us." No, he do care for us. It's the same way. If your child is being disobedient, you're going to punish your child, right? You're going to discipline your child. The Lord's doing the same thing with us as a people. We are his people, his chosen people. And we've been disobedient. So it's a discipline. Verse 46, "And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever." Verse 47, "Because thou servest not the Lord thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things." Verse 48, "Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee." And I read that in hunger, thirst, and nakedness, right? And it says, verse 49, "The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far." And that happened, right? That happened that happened to the so-called Native American Indians, right? That happened to the Northern Kingdom in general, and that happened to the Southern Kingdom. That happened to the Northern Kingdom mostly, though, because who came to the land? You had those Edomites that came, right? It says, from the end of the earth, as swift as an eagle. It's talking about them Edomites, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. And that goes into these 17 heathen nations. We were scattered among these 17 heathen nations, right? And we mingled among them, learned their works, speak their languages, and we've been working, building this place up, especially America. 200 years building this place up with blood, sweat, and tears, man. So, hey, man, this man was telling some truth. This is how we know that we are Israelites.
This is how bold abductors are getting.
So, this is how we know that we're Israelites, man. So, wait, I was going to go back to that video, but it changed it. But this is how we know that we are Israelites, man. So, hey, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Till next time I say, Shalom.